Welcome back to my channel, guys. Today we got to talk about none other than Assassin's Creed Shadows because I have finally rolled credits after 50 hours of gameplay. I have a lot to say about this game, man, but overall I really enjoyed it, and I think it's actually probably the best Assassin's Creed since maybe Black Flag. I know that might be controversial, I know that might be a hot take, but one thing I definitely feel comfortable with saying is that I think it's definitely the best Assassin's Creed out of the latest RPG style approach that they have been taking, starting with Origins. I think it's better than Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla. It took me a long time to beat Valhalla, but I ended up beating that last year. I said, you know what, I'm not going to do a review. I'm going to save all my energy and effort for this review. I played this on my PlayStation 5 Pro. I have some things to say about that as well. I'm going to go for the Platinum. Now, unless it's multiple credits that can be rolled in this game, I finished a quest with Yasuke. You know, I did a lot of the side content, finished a lot of things, and then the credits rolled. But strangely, I didn't get a trophy for completing Act 3 of the game, so I'm not sure how that works, but almost everything is done. I have no more missions available for Yasuke or Naue, so I'm going for the Platinum regardless, guys. But I don't think that'll change my overall outlook because, like I said, I did roll credits, did put a whole lot of time into this game, and I got a lot to say. So before we get into it, I kind of want to just give my background with Assassin's Creed. This was the first game I played on my Xbox 360. My grandmother and grandfather was kind of technology heads, but they didn't know much about tech, if that makes sense. They would want the latest and greatest tech, but they wouldn't like really look into it. So one day they come home from Best Buy and I seen a Pac-Man like disc through the bag, 360. I'm like, what the heck is that? We don't got 360. So I went, more bags came in, ended up my grandfather got an Xbox 360, and it was a Pac-Man bundle disc. And then we had the only game was the first Assassin's Creed game. And that was my introductions to Assassin's Creed 1 on the Xbox 360. And it was challenging, but I really loved it at the time. I never played anything like that leading up to that time in my life. So ever since then, I was an Assassin's Creed fan. I loved all the Ezio games. I loved Connor. I love 4, Black Flag. I hope we get that remake this year, guys. That's rumored to be coming. I didn't really love Origins as much as I thought I would. Unity was dope, especially now if you got it on the Series X. You know, if you're a console player like me, you can run it at 60 FPS now. Hopefully they come back and give that some love. I didn't beat Syndicate. It's only about 2-3 games I didn't beat. So I didn't beat Unity and I didn't beat Syndicate, but I put some time into both of them. And I think that's about it. Every other one I'm pretty sure I rolled credits on. I did not like Odyssey. I was just over that time period at the time in a setting. And I loved Valhalla because I love Norse mythology. And I really love the Viking theme of the game. So with that being said, I just wanted to let you guys, you know, see an overarching view of what I think about Assassin's Creed as a whole and Ubisoft as well. I appreciate them, and I hope this game continues to be successful for them because, you know, it's easy to make fun of games when you don't enjoy them, but, you know, it is millions of people that enjoy Ubisoft games out there, and for them to cease to exist would not be good for the game industry. But with that being said, make sure you hit that like button, make sure you subscribe, comment below if you enjoyed the game or you did not. But let's get right into it, and I want to talk about the graphics and the gameplay and the overall art design. So I think this game is by far probably the best looking next-gen game we've gotten this far. Man, this game is stunning, especially on the PS5 Pro. I played in the 60 FPS mode for a while. Just the global illumination, the detail, the fluidity was perfect. The quality mode, I couldn't do the 30 FPS, so I tried the balance mode, and I ended up staying there for the next-gen hair quality setting. And Ubisoft has already confirmed that they are bringing a PSSR update to the PS5 Pro down the line, and they're also bringing the ray trace reflections from the quality mode to the balance, so that'll be dope. But it also looks really good on the Series X. A couple of my homies is playing it via Ubisoft Plus, which I think if you have an Xbox Series X or S, that is the way to go. You'll save a lot of money. It's $17 if you got a VRR capable display, which I will hope you do. You can play it in a balanced mode, and you're pretty much seeing what I'm seeing on the series. I mean, on the PS5 Pro, man. So that's a great deal to get in and enjoy it. But with that being said, guys, the game is beautiful. I love the dynamic seasons. Winter, fall, summer, that changing, and the fact that it changed quicker if you fast travel a lot. And it dawned on me, I'm like, that makes so much sense, because when you take into effect how big the map is and the time period, fast traveling take days. When you're traveling from one side of the continent to the other, that takes a lot of time. You know what I'm saying? So it makes sense that sometimes after a fast travel, it will show me that the season has changed. The lighting in this game with the global illumination is absolutely gorgeous. My introduction to global illumination this generation was with the Metro Exodus update, and that was just beautiful. It showed me what next gen lighting was really about, and I hope games continue to do that going forward. You can tell that they left last gen behind, and I absolutely love that. But I do have some complaints about the overall design of the map and some of the gameplay designs that I kind of have critiques with, and even some graphical shots I can throw in there. I think the facial animations is not the best. It was a couple moments where Yasuke and Naoe just did not look the best. Kind of comical at a couple times, and it was kind of not immersive at the moment, because there's like a very important scene, and then you just got Naoe eyes bugging out. But I think they already said that's a bug, and that's coming to be, it's going to be fixed soon. But even Yasuke has some rough spots. But besides that, I think overall they're serviceable. But literally outside of the facial captures, like everything else in the game is really gorgeous. I think sometimes the terrain can be annoying, and most of these Ubisoft games is usually like that. But one thing I loved about Valhalla is that no matter what, you can climb any rock. I'm not sure why they removed that out of here. With Yasuke, it makes sense, but with Naoe, I just really don't understand that design decision. I think that's a step back. I think she should be, as a shinobi, be able to climb any rocks. So if I go up to the side of a mountain and it's all rocks, she should be able to climb that. Just my opinion. And she wasn't able to do that a few times, and it was kind of annoying. But then when I zoom in on the map, pay attention, it was literally always a trail. And I'm speaking on this because I love getting the synchronization towers. Excuse me, that's a word, right? But getting those towers so I can fast travel, that has always been a thing that I've done in every Assassin's Creed game since the beginning of time. So doing that and not being able to climb up sometimes simple mountains that was literally stopping me from being where I needed to be was annoying, man. But overall, man, the graphics is absolutely beautiful. The gameplay and the combat is really good. I think it's a step up from Valhalla. It can feel repetitive at times with seeing the same finishers over and over and over, but I will say that if you switch up your weapons a lot, because they do each, all of them got 3 weapons each. Yasuke got more because he got the bow and then he got the gun. But, she got swords and little tantos and stuff like that. So it's definitely a way to get a lot of variety out of the combat and gameplay. But I wish, over time they do add more finishers, because I think that will add another level of immersion. I do like how starkly and how different Yasuke and Naoe is from each other in their gameplay. And I think that's really dope. And Naoe is probably one of my favorite Assassin's Creed protagonists going forward, period. I loved her attitude. It's the typical revenge story. I won't spoil that. You guys know how that go. But I loved her movement. Being able to go prone in this game as both Yasuke and Naoe is absolute game changer. The grappling hooks with Naoe makes a lot of sense. She's so usable. And when you use her and then go to Yasuke, it makes you really appreciate how dope she is. And then when you go back to her and you got to fight a big castle or something like that, and you're getting overwhelmed and attacked, depending on what difficulty you're playing on, being able to go in there with Yasuke as a tank and just tank more damage and be able to just dish out more damage while taking more damage is really dope. And the play styles is vastly different, and I think that is dope, because in the last 2 Assassin's Creed we've had a female version of a character and a male version, but they played exactly the same, had the same dialogue, the same outcome, the same everything. So I think in this game, being able to still have that female version and having a male version, but they're starkly vastly different, completely different people with different backgrounds and different storytelling, to me was dope as well. And the art design to me was perfection as well. I think it's beautiful. I actually think it's the best looking game set in this type of environment since Ghost of Tsushima. So I'm really excited for Ghost of Yotai to come out, because Ghost of Tsushima is one of my favorite games. And looking at this game, it was like, wow, okay, I gotta give this it over Ghost of Tsushima. And saying that is funny. That just goes to show you how good Tsushima was, because that's a PS4 game. I'm happy they left last gen consoles behind. I hope they continue to do that with every game. But this game is absolutely stunning. And I want to just speak briefly on the music and sound design. You guys know I love my music around here. The music was dope. You know, that Japan hip hop aesthetic. I know, you know, some people gonna be not liking that, but I thought it was dope at times. And I think the overall wind, the world, the water, no matter where you're at in this game, it just sounds good. It sounds really good. The wind, the audio, it just, and if you play in immersive mode with the Japanese native language, it sounds really good as well. So the sound design and music, I think, was highlights. Definitely the sound design more than anything. Now the story, I want to speak on that real quick. I won't spoil anything. It's kind of your typical story. I do think I enjoyed it more than the Odyssey story, more than the Valhalla story, and really the origin story was pretty good, especially how it started. But I enjoyed this story, and what surprised me the most is how well each story for each character was. You know, it don't feel like Yasuke takes a backseat with his personal story, and it don't feel like Naoe takes a backseat either. You can tell this game is kind of setting up for some future DLC, and what's really dope is if you pre-ordered the game like I did. I don't recommend pre-ordering games too much nowadays, but when I seen that, you know, pre-ordering this game was going to get me the future DLC, I said, why not? I'm gonna play it anyway. I'm gonna spend the same amount of money. Why not? So that is dope. But Yasuke's story to me was really dope. It was really well done. I kind of leaned towards his more on a personal scale. Nowadays is, you know, the typical, both of them is the typical revenge story on the overarching scheme. I would like them to get, you know, better writers. Maybe I didn't really not like the English voice actors. I thought they were serviceable, and that's how most Ubisoft games are nowadays, serviceable. But when you think about it, like Connor was really dope. Even Edward Kenway, he was really dope. He had his own swag to him. Come on, Ezio, man, he had so much swag to him. So just going from those, you know, characters back then to these characters, sometimes they seem a little bland. But with that being said, Naoe still end up in one of my favorite characters just because of how she had her swagger. I did not play in canon mode, so I was pretty much picking my own decisions throughout the whole game. And, you know, typical RPG, pick this decision. So I'll probably do another playthrough one day or see online what's the canon decisions is and stuff like that. But overall, I thought it was really serviceable. I think it's one of the better stories in the recent games, but it's nothing too groundbreaking. So if you're going in here expecting like something that's going to blow your mind as far as storytelling, don't expect that. But I think it's really, for Assassin's Creed game, I think it's pretty much just setting them back on par with what I would expect from them. I think it was a very dope story. Both was well done. The pacing was great. It's nice that I was really surprised when I rolled credits, because I do have a handful of things to do, but not a lot of things to do. So I was like, you know, it's nice, you know, being able to roll credits on a big scale Assassin's Creed game in less than 60 hours. I thought that was pretty dope. And I did do a lot of side things as well. So I think the replayability, it might be there, depending on, you know, if you want to use just a whole playthrough with Yasuke, or maybe just use a whole playthrough with Naoe and just use one of the others backups so when you're forced to use them. But overall, man, I really enjoyed the game. I thought it was beautiful. I thought it sounded great. I thought it played great. No bugs, no crashes on my PS5 Pro. Very smooth. The homies on the Series X has been enjoying it. You can get it within Ubisoft Plus, so you know you can save some money if you don't want to spend that whole $70, because that is a steep price tag. And let's be honest, guys, Ubisoft games always go on sale, so you know you're not really missing out if you hold out for now. But I really do recommend this game, and I think it's one of the better Assassin's Creed in the last decade. This is a really good game. It's beautiful. It's dope. If you get it on sale later this year, that's even better. I highly recommend it, and I'm really interested to see how Ghost of Yotai is, because Ubisoft kind of set the standard as far as how games look and feel going forward. And I just want to say we've been having a great year so far for gaming. I've been playing Monster Hunter Wilds, guys. I got a review coming with that. I got the Splitgate review getting worked on, playing with my homie Rizzy. We've been chopping that down. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, I ended up putting that down about 74% into the game just to take a break. I ran into a spot where I'm having a lot of difficulty. I think I'm under leveled, so I got to go do some side things and level up. But I say all that to say I got a lot of reviews and a lot of content coming. It's been a great year for games, and we got even more coming. If you're watching this on my personal channel, I really appreciate you. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe for more reviews. And if you're watching this on the Game Pass Daily channel, make sure you subscribe and like the video, cut on notifications notification bells and catch us live on the Aim Down Sights podcast every Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.